Hey everyone, this is Mr. K with a video for section 20 of the Precalculus summer homework, right triangle trig. We're going to be using SOH CAH TOA for this. Hopefully this looks familiar. If not, leave me a message in the comments or send me an email and I can get you some videos on how to use SOH CAH TOA, but that's what we're doing today. So the first thing you want to do before you do anything else is check to make sure your calculator is in degree mode. So we're going to press the mode button here at the top, and then you want to make sure that degree is highlighted. If it is not highlighted, all of your answers are going to be wrong. So once we get that done, then it's just a matter of labeling sides. So if this is the angle, this is my reference angle that I'm using, that means that my opposite is always going to be like directly across from that. So this is my opposite. My hypotenuse is always directly across from the right angle, so that's going to be right there, the 20, and then whatever's left is going to be your adjacent. And so I always like to label that, so now it's very clear to see like how you're going to use SOH CAH TOA to help you out with this. And so I see that you always want to use the stuff that you know. So like I know my adjacent's 18, I know that my hypotenuse is 20, so adjacent hypotenuse, that's going to be the CA or cosine. So I know that the cosine of that y, I don't know what it is, but that's going to equal my adjacent divided by my hypotenuse. And then looking here, we need to get y by itself, so we need to get rid of cosine. Now a lot of students say, well, to get rid of cosine you just divide by cosine. Not true. You don't want to do the cosine of 18 over 20 or any sort of business like that. To get rid of this, you always need to do the opposite of that. So to get rid of cosine, the opposite of cosine is cosine inverse. And a thing to kind of remember is that whenever you're looking for an angle, you always want to do cosine inverse. So we're going to do the cosine inverse of 18 over 20, and then you're pretty much done. You just got to dump that into the calculator. So we got my calculator here. It's in degree mode because we already checked that. And so I'm going to do second cosine, and then I'm going to type in 18 divided by 20. You can type it in just like that. No need to reduce the fraction. And you end up with 25 point, we'll say, 84 degrees. And that's it. Looking at the next problem. Now they give us the angle, and we need to find a side. So again, I'm going to label opposite of my reference angle is the opposite. Opposite to right angle is hypotenuse. This is adjacent. So again, it looks like we're looking at cosine because we're looking for adjacent, but we know the hypotenuse. So cosine of 18 degrees is going to equal my x divided by 17. And now we're solving for x. So to get x by itself, I'm just going to multiply. Make that a little nicer. Multiply both sides by 17 since we're dividing by 17. That'll get rid of those. And so my x is going to equal 17 times the cosine of 18 degrees. And now we can just type that into our calculator exactly like you see it. And you should end up with x equals about 16 point, we'll say 168. Looking at the last problem, again done very similarly. So our reference angle, so this is opposite, this is hypotenuse, so opposite and hypotenuse is sine. So I'm going to write out the sine of 66 degrees. Sine of the angle is going to equal 18 over my hypotenuse, which is x. And now some students like to just multiply both sides by 18 here. You don't want to do that. The struggle with this one is that x is in the denominator. So to get rid of that, I'm going to multiply both sides by x. And that's going to get rid of that there. And then I'll have x times the sine of 66 degrees equals 18. I still want x by itself. We're multiplying these two things, so the opposite of multiplying is dividing. So I can divide both sides by the sine of 66 degrees. And now it just becomes, can you type that into the calculator? So we'll bring our calculator back one more time. We got 18 divided by the sine of 66. And you should get x is about, we'll say, 19.703. And that's it. I hope you found this video helpful and hope you have a great day.